Okay, good morning. So yesterday there is a video I dropped when I was talking about the power of mindset, and I think I've really been engaging some people, some persons, and I just feel like I should say one or two things about it more, because it is necessary sometimes to be able to pay attention to the process, right? A lot of us naturally want to do big things. A lot of us want to live a very clear, defined life, right? But most times the challenge is in the process. What will I do? What do I need to do, right? It's very important. And for me, mindset controls every single part of the things we do in life. It naturally shapes us. It defines your destination, from the place where you are. The mindset will tell you where you're going to be first before you get there. That's how serious it is. Now, and I was talking about building wealth through building a wealthy mindset, right? How to be able to ensure that you are actually think the way the millionaires and the billionaires think, right? Now, if you must go somewhere, for example, if you want to go to a certain location that you don't know, you want to put on your Google map, right? You want Google to lead you to the destination. What you are putting on that Google is to ensure that you don't make mistakes. Now, first of all, how do we identify the place you're going? Most of the information that Google gather is a result of the fact that people have gone that place before. They were able to impute those things, right? They were able to configure those things in such a way that when you want to go in that same location as well, Google just have to naturally help you lead you to the destination. And the same thing is applicable to building sustainable wealth, building transgenerational wealth, building wealth that is intentional. Now, you want to actually check out what people have done and then be able to replicate the process, especially for those who are thinking of long term, right? Because I spoke more about long term. Now, you must have a long term mindset. You want to have, your mind must be built around building sustainability. Wealth that is sustainable. Now, at first, I spoke more about long term, right? Now, when we're talking about long term, we're talking about things you need to pay attention to build for a period of years, right? What is going to pay you years to come? Now, for example, that is when we go to schools, secondary school. First of all, we start from primary school. Some of us went to kindergarten, little school, go there, go to primary, go to secondary. Why we take time to do these things is because you want to achieve an end goal. And after the secondary, you still have to spend years as well, right? To be able to get your degree based on the discipline you've decided to study. Now, if we must spend years of our time to be able to acquire a certain discipline, certain education, it then means as well that in any career you have picked, you want to work on, right? You want to ensure that you create a long-term mindset mentality for it. Now, there are some certain businesses that you always see real people invest on. Like example, when I talked about what the billionaire's attitude, right? Now you discover that if you can be able to use the Google Map to get where you're going, there is exactly as well what the billionaires do, that they have made them where they are, and you can replicate the process and then get yourself to that same destination. This for me is important because a lot of people really want to see how they can make some right decisions around building wealth, and we've already known that naturally one of the major key things that will really transform someone's future is the investment you have today, right? And then in building wealth, the first thing that comes into mind is the seed that you sow, is the things you plant, right? It's what you actually plant today that's going to determine what you're going to reap tomorrow. And that's how investment works, right? If you check out every single billionaires out there, check every single millionaires you see there, first thing that made them successful is that they took their time to pay attention to investment in any capacity, in any level, right? Now, I want to share a very simple, one simple formula that have really worked for many people, and it continues to work, right? That formula is simple, right? anytime you want to make investment, first of all, believe that you can do it. Say, I can, right? The place of I can't, automatically makes everything impossible for you. Even when you don't have the money, first of all, say, I can. Now, from that state of I can, then you begin to ask questions. How can I do this, right? Now, from that, how can I, you begin to bring solutions, possibilities, and ideas that is definitely going to make it work. Now, for example, I have seen people who ordinarily, based on the kind of business they're doing, based on the nature of the work they're doing, they won't on their own have been able to build the kind of investment they've built today. For the investment, like for example, in properties, right? Now, I was asking one gentleman question. He owned close to 10 plots of lands, in some prime locations, and I asked him a question, how are you doing this, right? He told me first thing is that he was able to study to understand that there is every single step that somebody at the average level can be able to take. Now, he approaches investment by making a consistent weekly savings for his investment, right? Every single week, out of the whole money that he makes, he takes out a little portion, add it or put it up in a purse. What I mean a purse, I'm more like a separate account, right? And say this particular money is for investment. Like for me, that formula, that strategy is something that in fact, the way he shared it was very amazing. Now, he was taking out money every single week from all his money he's making, putting it up somewhere, adding it up somewhere. And then at the end of the month, he approaches a very reliable company and they'll be able to make a deposit for a particular property. That's how, he started his journey. And, and as the story was going, he stated that almost every single 3 months or every single 4 months, he must have, in one way or the other, book a single property in his name, right? Something that is already, that, okay, this is already my name. Now, that is a very slow and steady process he has been engaging, and that have helped him to be able to secure over 10 plots of land, right? So, you see, if he was waiting to be able to gather the whole of that money together, possibly he couldn't have done that, right? And then beyond just gathering the money together, if he actually does not really believe that he can do it, there is no way it will be possible for him to do it. So I just feel like it is important for you to know that every single millionaires and billionaires you see out there, they don't joke with investment. And this morning as well, right, I was discussing with a friend of mine, and he told me something that, look, some of the top places you see today that is selling so high in Abuja, some people got that under free, let's just say under just an allocation, right? Some of them were just allocated to people at the level of, just a little amount of money that they paid for it many years ago. The man told me a story. He told me, say, look, some places like Wuse, we all know how expensive Wuse is now. Properties in Wuse sells almost in billions, right? Now, he told me something that was extraordinary. He stated that in Wuse, they were begging people then to be able to buy property at just any amount. In fact, with 100,000, you can grab big plot of land in Wuse those years, really, to be honest. But some people do not believe that it will be possible for them to be able to use, not that it will be possible, like some people were saying, like, how can this place develop? Because that time the place is just pure bush, terrible bush. A place that if you look at it, you get confused, right? So, but he told me that some people, okay, who just had a little something, okay, no problem, let them try, right? So they took a step, despite the fact that the place was not really looking, fine, not even fine. The place was not developed at all. And today, their investment is giving them one of the most biggest, not just in this time around, it's not just a return, right? But they're already building, they are building other investments from the one they invested there. Now, the story he told me that shocked me was like somebody actually that just got one certain plot with 100,000 naira. Today, that plot is selling for more than 2 to 3 billion naira. If you know, who say you understand that I'm telling you the reality, truth, right? But those years, there are some people who did not believe in it, right? There are those people who still doubted. There are those people that were like, how can this be possible, right? So in real estate, you don't hide things, right? You keep it as much natural as possible. But I'm just telling you, do your research. You understand how expensive Wuse is right now. So I just want to, say to someone out there, please, if you're passionate about really building wealth, please pay attention to investment. It doesn't matter the location where you are. It doesn't matter the place where you are. Find out what works, right? Find out trusted brand, trusted individuals, people who really can be able to help you, build your investment portfolio, and then take advantage of it. And of course, we are equally open as well to be able to guide you in the process, right? I think I've graciously done this to a good number of persons, and I'm still very much excited, every day happy, trying to see how I can be able to still make sure that people take advantage of real places, real opportunities, real estates, real projects that can help them build, a sustainable wealth, and then they'll be able to make a very great return on investment. This is Housing Professor. I'm excited. This is a beautiful, wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of the day, and then, cheer up, get excited, believe in yourself, and then the sky will not just be your limit, but a starting point. Thank you.